One, two, three.
Hello, hello everyone. And I'm
1 2 1 2.
everyone. Can you check the microphones?
Hello, hello, yes.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
perfect.
Yeah.
And our next panel discussion is dedicated to real obstacles that prevent good integrators from growing and how we can overcome them. And we hosted, I'm very honored that we host here very good integrators really, who have been showing good growth recently. And let me present from left to right, Sanjeeva Cooray, the founder and CEO of KLOUDIP from Sri Lanka. Sanjeeva plays a key role in decision-making, and he also oversees overall management. Please give a round of applause. Alejandro Lopez Toledo is the CEO of Unicom, our partner in Mexico. Please give a round to Alejandro. Ashraf Mukri is the general manager of Afritrack from Tanzania. And Dmitry Chislov is the deputy CEO of Avantern Group, our partner from Russia. When preparing to this panel discussions, I found out that the partners, the business of our partners, they've been on the market from 2006 or 2004, so they've been in business for 13 or 14 or 15 years already. And I have a question to each of you. During all those years, you not only managed to survive, but also to build a successful business. So there, of course, were some challenges that might have challenged you and prevent you from growing, but you obviously overcame those challenges. So can you mention, each of you, can you mention what were the challenges, just to give us an idea what we're going to talk about today? Sanjeeva, can you start, please?
Yes. Actually, the business, when we started, we knew one barrier could be when growing.
Excuse me, Sanjeeva, can you, a little bit closer, just, thank you.
When growing in volumes, we can't manage the same way when we had a smaller quantity. So we realized this at a very early stage. So we made our company more dependent on processes rather than people so that we don't face any limitations. So this helped us a lot to grow unlimited. As we grew from 1,000 to 10,000, it helped us to grow without much of barriers. But still, we faced some barriers when it came to recruiting staff because we couldn't always get the type of staff that we need to multiply the volume of units. So what we did was, for this, we followed something like a McDonald's concept, where McDonald's is the largest restaurant, but there are no chefs. So we made it dependent on systems so that we could multiply even staff just to follow the system rather than getting experts to do some tasks.
So in other words, you would say that business process mess could have prevented your company from growth, but you put a lot of attention, you had a lot of attention towards business processes, and that helped you, right?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you. Alejandro?
Oh, yes, actually, we started this in the business since the year 2000 with another company. And since then, we have really been involved. Our challenges have been which technology, this was the proper technology at the time, and a platform as well. We have another platform. We had one at that time that we started with. We had to evaluate different platforms. We decided for one which was very helpful at that time. We started using satellite-only technology at that time. So then when 2004 GSM came about, there was also analog technology before that. So when GSM came about in 2004 in Mexico, we could be able to use the trackers with GSM. We had to change at that time the technology. We have to adapt to that. Now we have also been providing the monitoring, real-time monitoring service to our customers ever since. That was the first fleet that we had to monitor. We had to put people actually to track the vehicles in real time. Especially, there was high-value merchandise, so we have to monitor and prevent robberies or recover vehicles and merchandise, and we have done ever since. We have now like 4 monitoring centers in Mexico, so we have a lot of people actually doing that service. We have developed also applications like alert applications, so that we can prevent and identify possible robberies, like when a door is open on the road. That's for us is a panic. It's a panic button. It's an emergency, so we have to react. So we have been facing these challenges and also changing our organization according to these demands.
Yeah. So in other words, just to give very brief summary, can I say, would be correct to say that early adoption of the new technology was something that you were dealing with and accordingly expanding your company to match that?
Yes, that's correct. But in fact, with the other platform, we were sort of, we couldn't grow.
You couldn't.
We had the opportunity and we have the challenge also of a new project 4 years ago. So we found Gurton a while at a time. And that was with this new platform, of course, we're growing again.
Thank you. Ashraf?
Good morning, everybody.
Good
I
morning.
didn't get to say good morning to you all. So it's a very interesting question that you give, Katrina. It's growing pains is not going to go away. And I think everybody here, and we will constantly keep facing it. But one thing that we realized early on is in our market, everybody was doing traditional tracking, which is basic tracking services. So we decided to do something different, and that was difficult. We said, let's provide actionable intelligence. Let us give you analytics. Let us give you a service that I can bet on you and say, if you don't recover money from it, cancel my contract. So we really started taking those bold moves. It was very difficult. It was a very stagnating growth because it wasn't available in the market. People didn't understand it. Everybody was looking at pricing. So again, going that direction for us meant that we needed to spend a lot of time. The sales cycles were a bit longer. But finally, it turned out to pay because, as you all can see, that our growth has been a hyper growth for the past 3 years. And it's all purely based on that we've differentiated ourselves, that we're not just a conventional tracking company. We are here to add value to our customers. And what we can do is we have all this data. How can we really measure your KPIs with the telematics data that we have? The other thing also what we implemented was talking to our customers. We kept seeing that all of them are transporters, but each of them are different. That's why they coexist. Yes, they're all delivering goods, they're all in the FMCG, they're all in the retail, but their balance sheets, their KPIs are different. So how can we understand our customers? So we started spending time talking to our customers and building a relationship that we are your trusted advisors when it comes to technology. I still remember a company where we went to, and they were a company with us for a long time. As we started embarking on this journey, we asked them, what more can we do for you? And the MD who started laughing said, Ashraf, what more can you do? I know where my cars are. I know what time they leave the gate, what time they come back. I think we are fine. So we started asking him, how is the sales going on? Because at that time in our country, the economy was not that good performing. So he said, no, we are doing good. We don't have a lot of growth, but we're meeting our numbers. And we said, we want to add growth for you at a sales level. And his team was like, you're a tracking company. How can you add sales? Do you want to go into retail? We said, no, we know what we want to do for you. Just give us some time. Let us gather some data for you. So we took off for a week and started doing geofencing across, looking at where their vehicles are moving and what they're doing. And then we went and met with the management team and said, these are the 3 locations where your products are selling more. These and these locations, your products are not moving. You don't have an outreach out of this boundary. The MD was like astonished. He was like, how did you guys get this data? And we said, you were sitting on this data for a long time. So we showed them that geofencing and how it works. They had used it before, but they were only doing it for their own workshop. That's why they could know what time the cars are leaving, what time the cars are coming back. So we added a layer of intelligence, which was already available, but we would have never harnessed it if we wouldn't speak to our customers. So those are the actions that we took. It's a difficult route to take. You have to invest a lot of time, but it differentiates you. And that's what helped us.
Yeah, thank you, Ashraf. That's a wonderful story, wonderful example. So may I say that the barrier that you had to overcome was to change the mindset of your customers, of the market in general, and to kind of compete with basic monitoring and say that with the telematics, with advanced fleet management solution, with advanced IoT solution, you can help the business grow, the business of your customer grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Dimitri?
Hello, everyone. Is it all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Avanton Telematics has a classic story. So we started our business in 2004. So this year we are 15 years old. And during our life, we met a lot of barriers and obstacles that could have prevented us to not to be here now and to be
we are
somewhere.
lucky that you're here, yeah.
So, but so we started our business providing our clients the security services for the vehicles. So we tried to, when the car was stolen, we tried to return it with the help of the police and other structures. And the first barrier we met that we didn't use Violon till 2008. So we were using another system, and we were tied to it because we have to use only one equipment, and we were stuck
one manufacturer,
to one manufacturer. And as a classic story, this manufacturer stopped supporting the platform, stopped producing the devices. And then we were in the situation that our business was dying, and we need urgently to move forward and to change something. So the success was that we found Violon solution, and we had the solution that can combine a huge amount of equipment and a huge amount of functional things that we can do. And we could, at that time, start a new line in our business, providing our clients the monitoring solutions, logistics solutions, and so on. So the first barrier that we were not using this platform, and when we started using it, our, it was
performance grew for the customer. Yeah.
The second thing I would like to say that we have a big country, so we have more than 8 time zones. So when we go to sleep in Moscow, in Vladivostok, people are starting to work. So we have a 24/7 working through our country. So, and we on that stage, we realized that we will not move forward if we will not provide our clients the federal coverage and the federal support for the services. So, in 2011, we made a federal network, and now we can make installations and telematic services in more than 140 cities in our country. And
140, that's a lot.
140 cities in our country, and making the installations in 24 hours after we receive the request. So it was a huge work, and it was our next step to success. So the next point is that we needed to make the federal coverage of our service.
It's kind of scalability of your processes,
yeah,
yes?
because the big manufacturers, the big companies that need telematics in our country have a lot of federal departments in each city in our country. And if you're working only in Moscow, in the capital, it's also have its limits, so you cannot move forward. The next thing I would like to say that our market, Russian market, is very competitive. So, by the way, I don't know how the situation is going with my colleagues, but in our country we have more than 400 integrators, and in our city we have more than 50 in one city. So the market is very competitive, and if you are not dynamic and you not move forward, you will die, and someone will take you off the market. So I think that's the main points that I would like to say.
Thanks a lot. And Dimitri, you mentioned a little bit about the measures, like drastic measures that you had to implement at some point, that you realized that you either need to have that federal coverage or you're gonna stuck, you will not grow. So I want to ask other panelists whether you had a point in your company development when you had to implement drastic measures to be able to move on. And if yes, then what were these measures about?
We actually, it's not only our company's organization and the processes, but it also, the growth concerns the customers as well, because this kind of a system to be maintained and grow, and customer to get best results, customer also has to make some
change their processes accordingly. Yes.
They try to do the normal way they do operations and get us to. So even if we do a best service and a best product, but still if the customer is not ready for it, we couldn't give him the best solution. So because of that, we had to be very drastic change in how we approach it. We couldn't approach like any other product, like a customer-supplier relationship. So basically, we changed to something like doctor-patient relationship.
Doctor-patient.
So
it's very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. In a customer-supplier relationship, we have to listen to customer. We have to always
deliver what they want you.
What they want. But in a doctor-patient relationship, doctor will tell and customer will listen, and no matter how big customer it is.
But it's also
how big patient it is. So this way, like we managed to handle it better because eventually they started getting the treatment, and when they started, when they got cured, they started believing in us. So at first it was because we were also dealing with top-end companies right from the beginning. So it was a big move for us to take this decision, and we even at a cost of losing some customers, we didn't change our method because we thought, in order to do this business successfully and if we wanted overall volume, we had to be doing what we want to be doing, even if we lost some customers.
So you had to deal with customer mindset and to educate your customers as well, yes. Similar as Ashraf was mentioning, right? So, but were these drastic measures that you had to implement at that point?
For instance,
or was it a gradual process for you, educating?
It was not that gradual because if we were listening to and doing the way normally the customers did it, in some cases, like for instance, some customers to complain about units, like they have like 1,000 units.
Yes.
They will be calling us. So if for 1,000 units, maybe we'll have at any given point 20, 30 units faulty. And if they start calling us, it wouldn't be possible for us to attend to it in a proper professional way. So we had a support ticket system implemented, and if they didn't email, we were rejecting all calls at one point, and we asked, it had to be come through a support ticket, and vehicle by vehicle they had to create support tickets, or we will not be able to attend.
So these were drastic measures. You had to take your stand, right, with it. Thank you. Alejandro?
We haven't really done any drastic changes in our organization, but we have done some from time to time, just to keep up with the market demands. And for instance, the after sales, that's very important for us. I mean, to keep the customers. We don't lose many customers, especially the big fleet. We have a fleet since I don't know, 15 years ago. Another one from before that with the other company, but still with us. So we don't lose actually our customers. But we have to strengthen every time on after sales, keeping track of the customers, offering new things, and also our engineering department. We have a large engineering and TI departments. I don't know, maybe 15 people. We have testing devices. Testing is very important. We have to test the device and the GPS device and test the platform, test the configuration, So only after we're sure that we have complete domain of the device and the platform, we can then offer that to our customers, because we have very bad experiences when you don't see, the customer expects something and you sell something else, you know. So that we have to reorganize it several times. We have quality ISO, but still to keep up with the processes, to comply with the processes and requirements is always challenging, and then we have to make major changes in that part, you know, in reorganization.
Changes in processes, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Ashraf?
From Afritrak's point, we reached a tipping point where we had to make drastic changes, and that happened especially along the lines when we were moving to becoming an actionable intelligence provider. So we first used our own platform, and we saw it's very, very painful to keep developing and keep managing. We used another platform, but it was very rigid, because either it's proprietary hardware or you can't integrate. And then we stumbled onto Wylon. So it took us 30 days to evaluate Wylon.
30 days.
30 days. And in 30 days, we had to migrate our entire fleet. So I would recall that, one, that was a great moment that we took the decision, because here we stumbled upon a platform that allows us to integrate multiple devices, which was great. We're looking at something that has flexibility, where we can build up onto it. We were looking also for open integration, which is both way from device to the platform to other softwares. So that was a drastic change.
Drastic
because in
change
60
to
days we had
adopt,
to already
yeah.
migrate our entire customer base and already have our team learning how to use it and start making headway out of it. But apart from that, we try and manage change. What we try and do is we learn every component of Wylon. So every feature, every function, every report, so that we are well versed of it and we can see how much we can maximize. But that's the only change I can recall that was really drastic.
Drastic, okay, thank you. Dimitri?
I would like to tell you this kind of story. So in 2011, we made a unique product for the leasing companies that can provide the security departments the help to get the leasing car when the man that get the leasing vehicle is not paying. So we made a product that provide the security department to get the stolen cars and so on and so on. And we were the first who made it due to the federal coverage. But you know, as I already said, we have a lot of competitors in our city and in our country. So in a few years, we had more than 15 companies that were doing the same thing.
Exactly
the same. So they copied our product and make their own on their own platforms and started to do the same services that we were doing. And the leasing you know, market is limited because there are 100 leasing companies, and that's all. So in some time, you needed to to struggle between the competitors for the limited quantity of leasing companies.
Make that pie different.
So we were not growing, but struggling and counterattacking, and that's all. And that time we understood that we will not move forward, and we stuck. So we understood that we need something new, and we made some kind of an additional value product for the leasing companies. So as we already are coming to install the devices for the leasing company, we tried to organize the situation that we were the representatives of the leasing company, and we can we can sign the documents for the leasing company and with the client as an outsourced service. And leasing companies liked it very much because it cost them a lot of money, and we gave them the opportunity to not to pay a lot of money and to reduce the costs, reduce the costs. And now we are making the complex product. So if the leasing companies wants to give the car, so we are coming signing the documents for the leasing company, installing the telematics device. So we are doing the, in complex, everything is in complex.
Like business process product, business
process product. And another very important thing I would like to mention that, 5 years ago we understood that only installing the devices and providing the standard services is not enough. So the clients are growing, they are becoming more, they know what they want, and they want specific things. We understood that each company wants a specific thing for their own business. So we understood that we need to start the Violin-based development department that can provide us to make an additional value to our product, providing our customers customized products that nobody can do. So the additional value products are very, very important for the growth of the company.
Yeah, so custom product that you can deliver and no one else, that was the drastic measure that you implemented at some point.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Another question that I have is about some success story. I'm sure there were times when you made some changes, maybe there were drastic changes, we spoke about that, maybe there were just some small, tiny, but continuous changes, and that influenced a few years, the next years, in the development of your organization. Can you share some success story with us that you're most proud of in overcoming barriers?
We managed to go to one of the largest customers, which had about 1,000 plus vehicles at one time at the beginning, and we lost this customer to one of the largest telcos. And but we were behind it. We were further developing our solutions. After about 3 years, this customer was very unhappy with the decision that they went with the telco. And by this time, we have highly developed our solutions with many custom software solutions as well, where we pitched again 3 years later, and we managed to get this customer back with 1,000 plus vehicles and removed completely out of our competitor telco. So this was one of the major success stories in our history,
that's good, yeah, that's a big customer when you have it.
Yes.
Thank you. Good story. Alejandro?
Well, actually, I have two stories which are very related to the platform that we used at the time. The first time we went for a bid, we didn't have the platform, we didn't have the device, but we had started already with the testing devices and platforms. And at that time, there was a bid for our oil company. There was a major bid for a couple of thousand vehicles. And so we were able to win that bid because we had at that time the right platform, the right device. There was testing, of course, to be done before the bidding, and we were successful. So we were able to win that bid. And the next success story is when I met Willem because I had a requirement at that time also for it was 300 vehicles to start off, but now we have over 3,000 vehicles in these 4 years, and that's because we have Willem is a successful platform for telemetry. So that's those are our key customers, our key clients actually that have really been supporting our company for development in other areas.
Thank you. Ashraf?
Well, I wouldn't call them success stories, I'll just call them an ever-changing landscape. One of the challenges we face, I believe most of you also are facing, or everybody is facing in the world, is the ever-changing market requirement. The same customer today has this requirement, 3 months later they have a different requirement. So as we started picking this up by building that relationship of becoming trusted advisors, we thought, what more can we do? So we started looking into design thinking. And right now, we instilled something called design thinking as a practice back in the office. And we would spend time with our customers and we would actually go and meet with them and have a team that goes and does customer empathy interviews, pick up their requirements, and start building solutions for them. So I believe the Violon team hears a lot from us every day, but a lot of proud moments to talk about, but one of the pinnacle things maybe to take away is to think of how you can apply design thinking. It's a pivotal thing, and it's right now actually the trend of how people work on developing solutions.
How often do you meet with your key customers and review and the offering and what you can do for their business processes?
So we instilled customer relationship in a 3-tier level. Our salespeople are also handling the accounts. So it means once you close that account, your sales cycle doesn't end. You keep continuing with it and keep maintaining. Then we have customer relationships who actually maintain the relationship, which is more related to the support part. And then we have the online experience team. And the online experience team, what it does is we wanted to create a metric and say, you are a logistic company, you are an aviation company, and you are a FMCG company. What are your main 10 requirements from Violon? And how much are you using? So we do these ratings on a 3-month basis with our key customers. We've just started this like 6 months ago. And it has changed the landscape because most of the time people only use 10% of the platform. So on the 3-month cycles that we are meeting with them, we are able to rate and say you're only using 3, but if you only use the next other 3 options available for you, you know, you'll be able to save money here, you'll be able to increase efficiency there. So yeah, along those lines.
Thank you. Dimitri?
I already mentioned about several things that made our success, so I would like to stop on the federal coverage, maybe,
yes.
Because the most thing that our company is proud of, that we organized the federal partner network.
So it's partner network or it's your offices? Can you tell us more about
it's
that?
not our offices because we have a Violon community.
Yes.
And we are using the partners.
Yes.
And so to be in the same, information field and so on. So we are using the partners of Gurtam to use the partners of Gurtam to make this federal network. And it was a big and serious work because we have to filter the partners to get the best of them. We had to make the federal storages that can provide us the opportunity to install more than 3,000 objects per month in any part of our country. So it was a big challenge to connect them all to one service desk, so that they will be, so that they will work in the unique way that we made. So it was, we are very proud of that we were making, and that gave us a big opportunity to grow, and it was the best that we made now.
That's good. Thank you. I have a question to the audience. Some challenges were mentioned, and I would like to raise your hands which challenge is most important for you. I name 3, and then we discuss the first one that is most burning for you. So the first obstacle is business process mess, or the absence or the lack of some processes. Can you raise your hands if it's important for you? Stefan, thank you. Okay, then the next one would be change in market conditions, change in requirements of the customers, and how you can keep up with it. Is it important for you? Okay, thank you. And one more is early technology adoption and responding to the market need by improving your offering with the technology. Importance? Okay, I think we should start with marketing. Can we discuss this obstacle? The change in market requirements and how to respond to it. Can you share your experience?
Yes, we keep an eye always about 4 to 5 years ahead. We follow technology and what's going to come. So because of this, we've been always able to be in the right direction up to now. by providing solutions very early. So most of the time when we give solutions introduced to market, even customers are not very interested. But by that time we get it further developed with 2-3 rounds, sometimes offering them free of charge. But by the time it is needed, we were always ready. So as a result, today we have about 10 niche solutions that we have developed where customers can work on top of Violin as value-added solutions, which will bring a lot of additional revenue. Plus, we were able to compete also because now we are in a trend to bring down the core platform cost down and compete with competitors, because we may be half the cost of any other competitor, and we charge the cost from our value-added solutions that are running on, which is more addressing customer issues because customers.
Some specific niche solutions, right?
Yes. So customer want now something done rather than tracking the vehicle, or so we give that solution.
Can you give us an example of 1 or 2 solutions that you were earlier than the customer to introduce and offer to them?
Yes, something like when it came to now in my market, there is in Sri Lankan market there is the payments are done for the vehicles on mileage, because they have a lot of hired vehicles in the corporate sector where it is paid for the mileage. So they wanted this not to track the vehicle wherever they go. It didn't matter. They wanted to get the business mileage, and calculating this was a very big problem, because sometimes these vehicles go for their private in between also. So we made an application where something like combined car sharing and taxi system put together solution. Like it's a complete solution that we have developed, but it's something like a mix of everything, where you give the interval and you can get what is the official mileage. Because this corporate, like large companies, have a lot of in-between travel. Like they have large staff, they have to go between factories, they have to go to various meet customers, and tracking this and paying the vehicles for this hired at the end of the month was the requirement. So they didn't want to track the vehicles basically.
Yeah, so
they wanted to pay the vehicles and accurate mileage for what they used.
And this is a mobile app, right? That is based on VLM.
Yes, it is a complete solution, including apps and a web-based solution, and integrated with Violin.
Thank you.
Well,
Alejandro?
tracking is no longer like a requirement actually in our markets. There's got to be something else besides tracking. In Mexico, for instance, where we have a lot of this, security issues, vehicles get stolen, merchandise gets stolen, and a few years ago, usually the robbers would take the merchandise but leave the vehicle, but now they're taking everything. So we have to develop applications and also some devices, some accessories like locks. We have internal locks for the cargo doors. So we develop locks. We have developed also an app now for fleet management on that side of the opportunity with Willem, using the SDK. So there are quite a few opportunities now with Willem that we are adapting and using for a changing market.
It seems that SDK is the #1 thing that you should do to keep up with the market.
Yes.
Dimitri, would you agree?
Yes, we do that, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I already mentioned that Violin-based development is one of the most important things for the integrator to move forward and to be successful in the future. And speaking about your question, so I don't think I think it's better not to follow the new market changes, but I think it's better to make the changes yourself.
How do you do that? How do you
By the way, so for example, when the client calls you and wants to install some devices, 90% of integrators are telling that we will make it in 48 hours. Yeah, so you will give the request and we'll make it in 48 hours. We'll come to you, install the equipment, and so on and so on. So if you will make it 8 hours, you will change the market. So if you make it more quick, it will change the market, and all other competitors will need to follow your rules, your own rules that you are making. So my point is that it's important to follow the market changes, but you should also think about to change the market yourself, to see what the market is, and to make the changes that the competitors will follow your own rules. And that's more important, I think.
Thank you. We have only maybe 4 or 3 minutes left, so I want each of you give a very, very brief summary of overcoming barriers and of looking ahead and educating customers. Just a couple of sentences, please.
I think this telematics business, your business model have to be completely re-engineered, that we cannot take things from and run it, because this is something that the customer wants reports, data uninterrupted. So, but if a customer also takes 2-3 weeks to take some decisions, it cannot happen. So it is something that we have to remodel, sort of re-engineer, and come up with a solution for your business where it suits this industry.
Which no one else is offering.
Yes.
Thank you. Alejandro?
Yes, taking advantage of the data that we collect from Wealon, from the GPS devices into Wealon, and then all the information I get from Wealon, and using that information, process that information to deliver intelligent reports, intelligent results to the customer. I think is one of the things that we should take opportunity, we should take advantage of for the market.
Thank you.
From my side, I would add that, I mean, all are very valid points, but the general trend right now is getting into subscription business. So everything as a service. And we are into this business with telematics, with IoT devices. You can start looking at power as a service, energy as a service, maybe oxygen as a service. So start thinking on that space, and that's what has been really helping us and giving us a competitive edge into looking at other services of what can we track more, what can we do as a billing to increase the subscription model, rather than just do traditional tracking and just offer traditional tracking. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have 1 minute left, so I'll point 5 things that I already mentioned.
5.
But shortly. So first thing, it's for us, for our company. It's a federal coverage and opportunity to make installations and services through all over the country.
And use the partner network for that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Partner and so on. Because we are giving the partners additional work
Yes.
and opportunity to succeed in their own cities and to grow in their own region. The second is 24-hour service, 24/7 service that we can provide to our clients, because clients are very different. In security, it's very important to make it 24 hours. The third thing is violent-based development. So you need to make them to be, unique on the market. You need to, the fourth point is additional value products. So you should think about what you should do to make your product unique and to make additional value to it. And the last point is automatization and optimization of business processes inside the company to make reduces of the costs and to make the prices maybe lower than they are in the market, and so on and so on. So the 5 things that I already mentioned are very important for us.
Thank you so much. Did you enjoy this panel discussion? Was it useful for you? Thank you. Give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you very much. We have a coffee break until 12 o'clock, and we are back at 12 to hear the presentation.